Good evening, I'm Dustin Bridges, Director of Human Resources for Avery County Schools, and welcome tonight to our Meet Candidate Forum. The Avery County Board of Education received several applications for superintendent, interviewed the top candidates, and have now selected two finalists, Dr. Janie Johnson and Dr. Michael Vetter. Last Thursday, you had the chance to hear from Dr. Johnson. Tonight, you'll have the chance to hear from Dr. Vetter. At this time, I'll recognize Mr. David Wright, Chair of our Board of Education. Mr. Wright will share some brief remarks and then recognize other board members in attendance.
I want to welcome you all tonight on behalf of the Board of Education. We're so appreciative. We're so thankful that you're here. We're really seeking your input on this. We need it, and we appreciate your interest in Avery County. As y'all know, Avery County is a very special place. And I just want to repeat what I said the other night. Listen, our teachers, all of our employees, our community, and especially our students are very special. There's no other way to say it. And we are a people place. The people of Avery County are special. And we're just so glad you're with us tonight. I want to thank Dr. Vetter for being here. I want to thank him for his interest in Avery County and for coming up here and spending the whole day with us today. And we just want to listen to Dr. Vetter, and please fill out those forms that you got tonight because they're very helpful. And again, I'm going to say it again, this is important and it's a special place. And it's a special time. So thank you very much.
Tonight, we're honored to welcome Dr. Michael Vetter. Dr. Vetter will discuss his background and vision for Avery County Schools, and then we'll have a question and answer session led by student government representatives Taylor Barrett and Lily Foster, who will ask 5 questions of the county. Dr. Vetter will be offered time for closing remarks, and then at the conclusion of the night, you may meet Dr. Vetter. As you enter, you were given a feedback form and a pen. At the end of the night, I ask you to give your feedback form to Rachel Shepard, and we'll give those to the Board of Education for their review. And now, without further ado, it's my honor to introduce to you Dr. Michael Vetter.
Good evening, and thank you for allowing me to be here tonight. I appreciate the opportunity to meet members of the community and learn more about what makes this district such a great place. Throughout my career, I've had the privilege of serving as a teacher, a principal, and now a district leader. Each experience has reinforced my belief that public schools are the heart of a community. When schools are strong, communities are also strong. As I've learned more about your district, I've been impressed by the pride people have in the schools and the commitment to providing opportunities for every student. These are qualities that deserve to be celebrated and continue to build upon. If selected as superintendent, my commitment will be simple. I want to build trust, strengthen relationships, and make every decision centered around our students. I believe in listening before leading, communicating openly, and working alongside families, staff, students, and the community partners that we hold so close. My vision for Avery County is to build a school district where every student is known, supported, challenged, and they are given the opportunity to be successful. My vision also includes the same for employees. We want all staff members to feel valued, empowered, and we want every school to have the leader that they deserve leading their school. I believe strong school systems are built on those 3 things: trust, people development, and a relentless focus on students. Every decision we make must be student-centered. As superintendent, I want to build a culture where people feel heard, respected, and where communication is open, and where decisions are once again grounded in the data and what's best for our students. Most importantly, I want us to operate as one district. While every school has its own identity and strengths, our students should have the same opportunity to receive an excellent education regardless of which school they attend. My goal is simply not to maintain what you guys have built here, but to build upon the greatness through the strengths and address some of the challenges along the way. We want to create a culture of continuous improvement where our students, employees, families, and community members can be proud of their school district. I look forward to having open conversations about the district, and I welcome the questions that these lovely ladies have.
Like many counties, Avery County is facing declining enrollment, and some facilities are in need of significant repairs and upgrades. As superintendent, how would you address these issues in regards to a potential consolidation of our two middle schools?
So just talking about enrollment first, we've spent we covered this quite a bit earlier today. Enrollment's one of those things that we have to do a good job of selling our school system. Oftentimes people in the community, they hear different things, they post different things on social media. We have to be the ones that send the message about the good things that we have going on in each and every one of our schools. We have pockets of greatness across all of our schools, and we need to showcase that, whether it's through social media, whether it's having community members come into our buildings more frequently to see some of the good things we're doing. We've got to keep as many of the students in Avery County as we can. By offering different programs at both the middle and high school level, we might could attract some students that are currently homeschooled. We might could get some students back to charter schools or private schools that we've lost through the years. By selling our story and really promoting the great things that are happening in each one of our schools, we can slowly but surely reverse that trend. That is a statewide trend. We can be one of the few counties in the state to reverse that trend and have our enrollment numbers continue to start to rise. As far as facilities go, across our state, across the region, we have aging facilities. My number one priority would be to make sure, even though the facilities may be aging, we want to make sure they're safe for both students and staff. So our top priority would be to assess every building that we have that we put our students and staff in to ensure it is safe. From there, we can explore other opportunities through grant dollars, soliciting funds, possibly from the county commissioners, whatever options we have available to us to get the ball rolling. Because number one, safety is going to be paramount. We want to make sure our schools are safe. They have to be functional. We can't have schools that have leaking roofs. It's a distraction. It disrupts the learning environment, and it's not going to be conducive for our kiddos or our staff. Consolidating schools could also be considered as an option. I think it's best anytime you consider any type of major decision like that to bring stakeholders to the table. I would envision meeting with several district leaders, school leaders, and community leaders, and just the community at large. This is your community. We need to have open and frank discussion about what's best moving forward, whether it's consolidation, whether it's new curriculum at one of our schools. We need to make sure that we get input from our stakeholders. We can do that in open forums such as this. We can push out surveys to get input from all aspects and all areas of our district. So anything's possible. Sometimes consolidation works. Sometimes it can be effective. Sometimes it's not always the best practice. Sometimes it's a better way to lead the schools the way they are. But until we get enrollment up, it's going to be a conversation that we're going to have to consider. But I think, honestly, if we can really sell our schools and get our enrollment back to where it was 5-10 years ago, we could have our schools busting out the seams and we won't have to worry about consolidating.
As superintendent, how would you ensure that you are visible in all schools while still ensuring the work of the district gets done?
I strongly believe that a lot of the work is done in the schools. Nobody does anything from the district office level. That happens in the schools. I'm very fortunate to work in a district now where my superintendent expects me to be in schools 3 days a week. So I have on my schedule, and I I track it through a Google form to make sure I keep up with the number of schools I go to each week. And to take it one step forward, I track it by school, so I can see which schools I visit the most. That way I can make sure that I have the opportunity to see every school at the same amount of frequency. So I think it's critical, not just that the superintendent's visible at school, talking to students, working alongside teachers and other staff, but I think it's very important for district leaders and district staff to be doing that as well. We're all in this together. We're not going to be successful by working in silos, and our team, the expectation will be for our team and myself to be in schools on a regular basis in a supportive role. Oftentimes, teachers and some administrators see central office folks coming, they think it's a bad thing, they think we're out to get you, there's something wrong. Believe me, I'm in HR. When I show up to a school, the looks I get, people think something's wrong. That's not the case. I enjoy going to schools, I enjoy talking to staff, teachers. One of the two places I go to first is the cafeteria and the gym, because I'm very invested in what happens in our cafeterias, because it's very important that our students have a nutritious breakfast and lunch each and every day. And as a former PE teacher, I love going into the gym and seeing what's going on and all the fun stuff that the PE teachers are doing. So I think it's critical that we're visible and we're in a helpful servant type role when we're there, not a supervisory type role. Now, with that being said, community engagement, being visible in the schools is extremely important, but there's a fine balance there, because there's work that needs to be done at the district level. So we need to make sure that we balance that appropriately, to where we're spending enough time in the schools, but we're also spending enough time with our district leaders, strategically planning for the upcoming months.
What is your vision to increase the academic achievement of our students over the next 30 days, 1 year, and 5 years?
So I think in the first 30 days, I would really like to take a look at the data. I've been able to review the 24-25 data. I have not seen the 25-26 data. So myself, our curriculum team, some principals at each school, and admin, and maybe some teacher leaders, and just take a really close look at the data, see what some of the trends are indicating. Are there 3-year trends where a school is seeing where they're not meeting growth? Is there a 1-year trend? Sometimes it's just a cohort of students, and sometimes they're just a little bit behind, and we've got to find a way by drilling down into that data and looking at that subgroup data about how we can enhance the learning experience for those kiddos, because we're going to have them 12, 13 years, depending on how long they're with us. We want to make sure every day counts. From a 1-year plan, I think we need to take a strong look at an effective strategic plan that encompasses all of our schools, all the different grade levels, data points. Every facet of Avery County schools needs to be reviewed with our curriculum team, with our folks at the school. At some point, we would want to get community input on what a sound, effective strategic plan would look like. So over the next 6 months to a year, my plan would be to help work alongside our district leaders to create a new strategic plan that 5 years from now, we would set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-year goals to where we want to be one of the best districts, not just in the Northwest region of North Carolina, but the entire state. I served as a principal in a school where other schools and other teachers across our district came to see the things that we were doing in our school. I want that for Avery County. I want other districts to call us and send their teachers, send their leaders to the great schools that we have in Avery County so they can learn from our people. I really take pride in that, and I feel like a solid strategic plan over the next 2 to 5 years is something that could be easily attainable.
The impact of social media is unavoidable. What is your approach to handling social media about you or the school district in a way that maintains transparency, professionalism, and stakeholder engagement?
Don't we just love social media? It's one of those things, it's out there. People have, there's multiple different social media platforms. People have their First Amendment right to post anything they want to within reason on social media. As far as comments or things that are said about myself, if I were the superintendent or if I was in my current role as the HR director, Oftentimes I take those with a grain of salt, and to be quite honest with you, I don't really read the comments that are on social media. We have folks in our district that monitor social media. If something comes up that I need to be aware of, or a superintendent needs to be aware of, then they kind of notify us. But as far as doom scrolling any kind of social media, that's not something that I typically do. But with that being said, anytime things come up that negatively reflect our district, that could be a time where, depending on what it is, we want to sell our schools to the best that we can. And if we continue to get negative social media posts, then that can be a detriment to us. So what I would want to do is, if we had a person that is regularly posting stuff on social media, I would want to bring them in and have a conversation with them to get a better understanding of kind of what their thoughts are, why they are doing what they're doing, and what we could possibly do differently if there is an option. Because we don't want any kind of negative press, whether it's in the newspaper, social media, whatever the case may be. So having an open conversation with folks, maybe they're having an issue at a school that we can work through and try to address through that facilitation. But I will try to bring them in if they're willing, or do some sort of phone conference to get a better understanding of kind of where they're coming from. Maybe they don't have a clear story. Maybe I can enlighten them with the help of some of our staff to kind of give them a better insight as to why we do some of the things we do, or if it's a decision that we made that is a little controversial, help them better kind of understand the process. I've said it before, anytime we have a controversial conversation or decision we have to make, I'm going to include multiple stakeholders, whether it's district staff, whether it's school level staff, it could be community members, depending on what the situation and the decision is at hand. I'm going to include others. I'm not going to simply just make decisions off the cuff. Believe me, I'm not smart enough to do that. I'm well aware that I need to include others, and I need to get the support, not just from our district staff and stakeholders, but also our board. It's going to be critical to the process. And by doing that and having an open and transparent process, hopefully over time, when folks in the community see that, they'll realize that we're being more transparent. We have structures in place when it comes to making decisions, and hopefully some of the fodder online will die down to a certain degree.
How will you include parents, stakeholders, and local officials in decision making for our school district?
I think it's critical to have input from all of our stakeholders, whether it's parents, whether it's community members, or whether it's business partners, of course the Board of Education, district leaders. I think each situation and each decision may warrant a different subset of stakeholders depending on what that decision is. There could be times where we have to pull in everybody. There could be times where we may only have to have 2 or 3 different stakeholder groups that is strictly applicable to them. Part of the ongoing process that I foresee, I would love to have a staff advisory council that meets on a regular basis. I'd also love to have a community advisory council and a student advisory. So I'd love to hit all areas of our stakeholders and have either quarterly, monthly, whatever works best for our people, so I can have information and keep my thumb on the pulse as the year goes on. We can't wait every 2 years for the teacher working conditions survey to come out and give feedback. That's not enough. We've got to have more frequent bursts of feedback from our folks, whether it's teachers, district leaders, community members, parents, business partners, whatever the case may be. We have to get as much feedback and as much rich data as we can so we can make the adjustments that we need to move our district forward. That went a little quick. Are you sure you don't have any more questions?
I definitely could spit some questions out.
We better stick to the script. Being an HR, I know how important it is to follow the rules. But I just want to say, and I am a man of few words, and I am a little nervous, I'll be honest with you. But guys, I'm very down to earth. I'm a very humble person. I was humble many years ago when I first became a principal. I learned that I don't have the answers. I need to surround myself with folks that do, so we can make informed decisions. And that's my goal. Every decision we make is going to be strategically thought out so we can make the best decision moving forward for Avery Council. Are we going to get it right every time? No. But we're going to make the adjustments that we need to if we do mess up. And it's gonna happen from time to time, but we're gonna have structures in place. We're gonna do our due diligence. We're not just gonna fly by the seat of our pants and just make off-the-cuff decisions. Your students, your families, your community is too valuable for us not to do the right thing for each one of our students, staff members, and stakeholders. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. I hope everyone has a great night.
Thank you, Dr. Better. Thank you to Lily and Taylor. Thanks to Ricky Ward, Mike Jackson, Stephanie Watson for letting us use your meeting space. And we thank you for coming out here tonight. As a reminder, please give Rachel Shepard your feedback forms on the way out the door. If you do not have a feedback form, just raise your hand now and she'll give you one. At this time, please feel free to come down and speak to Dr. Better. Thank you very much for attending. Good night.